Hi everyone. In the last video, we discussed the SMART method of setting goals. Reiterating the obvious, setting clear financial goals is the key to a healthy financial future. Now, as we have already seen the meaning of SMART method of setting goals, I believe that it is important that we also discuss some other methods. So, without further ado, let's jump right into it. Another type of a method that I am going to discuss today with you guys is called as PACT. The acronym stands for Purposeful, Actionable, Continuous and Trackable. Let's discuss each letter one by one. So, as I said, P stands for Purposeful. Purpose has quite a deep meaning and it is a quite complex concept. But to put it bluntly, purposeful goal should have a long-term effect on your future. It shouldn't just be relevant to you right now. It should also be aligned with the vision of what you see for yourself in the longer term. For example, wanting to build a business with say 100 employees over the next 10 years and generate a profit of say rupees 10 crores is a purposeful goal. A stands for actionable. When you have an actionable goal, you exactly know what you need to do to make progress. You can just break down the goal into smaller, more manageable tasks. This will help you to focus on specific actions and identify gaps if necessary. For example, you need to save X amount of money by cutting down on Y and Z expenses so that it will present you with clear actions that where do you need to keep your spending in check and where do you need to save more. C is for continuous. It is advised that the efforts that you are taking should be simple and repeatable. Basically, consistency is the key here. Say you are investing rupees 3000 every month in a fund. So if you invest that much amount of money for 5 years and if you invest that much amount of money for 10 years, both of these amounts will have a huge difference in them. T stands for trackable. Your goal needs to be trackable so that you can measure the progress from time to time and stay on track. Could not achieve this month's goal in the budget? Well, revisit your budget, revise it, and see where you have fallen short. This will help you to tailor your budget for the next month. That brings us to a whole new concept of revisiting your budget. Is it useful to really revisit your budget or say even to revise it? Well, for the first time, you might not be able to figure out this whole budgeting thing. Therefore, you might need to alter the first version of your budget so that it suits you properly for the next time. Just like your clothes, it is that easy. But when and why should you do this? Let's see. When you run into unanticipated difficulties or obstructions, you might need to modify your goals and rearrange them so that you can overcome these obstructions. For example, let's say you wanted to buy that Samsung Wear OS watch that you always had in your mind, but for some reason you had to pay for major waterproofing works in your bathroom. And for that purpose, you might need to revise your budget a little bit. Another instance might be when your goals are not practical or attainable. This can happen sometimes when you are not aware of your available resources, limitations, and obligations. Say that you are intending to save more than half of your salary every month, but you know that your father is probably retiring next year and therefore you will have to bear the burden of majority of the household expenses quite soon. Therefore, you will have to definitely revise your budget, won't you? It can also happen that sometimes certain goals are not in line with your beliefs and your priorities. You might have heard from a lot of people how important it is to buy a house in your late 20s or otherwise it might get late. But if you see, if the EMI is eating away a major part of your salary every month and it is preventing you from doing something that you really love, then why should you need to buy a house right now? I mean, just because the society said so, that it is important to settle down immediately? You have to think that for yourself. Lastly, it can also happen that the objectives that you had set out for yourself have already been attained. If you have already attained those goals, then you need to revise them so that you can advance further. Say that you needed to buy some necessary furniture for your house and now you have already bought it 6 months earlier than expected. Now what? Now you just need to revise your budget and plan for some another important thing that is already on your list. Don't just sit and wait. If any of the above situations have rung a bell, then probably it is a good idea to revisit your budget. Basically, the main argument is that it is a good idea to examine and evaluate your needs on a regular basis. If after doing so you find out that you need to change your goals, then consult your closed ones, think about their advice and process it on your own, and take appropriate action so that you can continue your journey towards a secure and sustainable financial future for yourself. If you have liked this video, then do not forget to drop a like. To know more about finance and such informative videos, do subscribe to Spring Money. This is Rohit. See you in the next one.